Welcome to Round the Altar, a comedic Masonic show where three guys don't know what they're talking about, pretend they do.
Did you change the title?
No, I'm just joking. I didn't change the title on us, no.
I was like, okay.
Although, now that I'm thinking about it, Round the Altar would have been a good alternative.
I couldn't decide if I was just going to go with it. Like,
no. That was pure BS-ery. That's not going in.
Oh, it should.
Or it might. I don't know. Anyways, welcome to From the North. We're doing a quickie today.
Afternoon quickie.
As opposed to a nooner.
Yeah, it is.
It is more. Oh, it is. Never mind. It is after. Anyways, I'm going to cut all that out.
No, this is a serious question. Is this a nooner or is this an afternoon quickie?
Afternoon quickie. It is afternoon.
Okay, good. So now we're all on the same page. We can proceed.
Should we introduce ourselves?
Yes, I'm Jason Lee. We just had elections, and so I will be senior deacon and trustee next year.
Good thing you mentioned that, because I almost forgot that I have a new chair.
Yeah.
I am AC Ransom. I am the junior deacon.
And I am Gary Roberts. I am the former Tyler.
Junior warden.
Junior warden.
The former Tyler.
The house.
Yeah.
Might have to cut that part out. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't think that's in plain text.
Just like the beauty in the South.
Yeah, it's
Gary
the beauty of the
Roberts.
South.
Yes.
They don't know what I'm talking about. Isn't that amazing?
The bald-headed guy that's ugly and fat.
You mean, oh,
Now,
you mean
Jay.
90% of the lodge? Myself included?
I've got all that
Shut up.
except for the bald part.
Shut up.
It's coming my way, though.
It comes to us all.
It comes to us all. Not all of us. Some people get... Anyways.
No, they get like transplants or something. I don't believe any.
You could be like Trump, big swoony hair, comb over with orange skin.
It's all fluffed up for volume. Yeah.
Yeah. That
So,
was my father-in-law, by the way. So.
Father-in-law's
Very
not-
bold.
Oh.
He'd put his hat on. Hair would rub his shoulder down here if he didn't comb it over that day when he wore his ball cap. So he'd have this hair on the left side that was down to his shoulder and his hair on the right side. As I say that, using the left side. That
I'll
was
say this.
very nice, well-groomed. So
I'll
half
tell you
hippie.
this, though.
that sounds good.
The best decision I've ever made was when I started going bald was just to shave my head.
Oh, yeah. That's what
Amen.
I've heard from a lot of people.
Best decision.
You
I
just
was
commit
terrified.
and you just... Yeah.
I was terrified to do it because I had hair. I used to have so much hair I would get crimped by my girlfriend. Like it was just ridiculous.
I want to see pictures.
But so it was scary to like just shave my head. But once I did, I was just like, hair sucks, man.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Now when I let it grow out even just a little bit and I shave it off, I'm just like, oh, this is so much better. Not even because I like the look. It feels better.
Yep.
You
Oh, yeah,
should
I
not
agree.
have hair on your head.
Now somehow I'm jealous of not being bald.
The only problem is it just takes... I'm lazy.
Yeah, me too.
So hence the reason it's not always shaved. I shave mine about every 2 weeks.
I shave mine about once a week to once every 2 weeks. At 2 weeks, it starts getting a little long for me. Like then it's like beard hair length, and like I can't have that.
Well, beard hair length for me is non-existent. No such thing as a beard.
I feel that.
Oh no, beards are great too.
I can grow a great, like
So does hair.
Amish chin
Yeah, but I just
chopper.
wear a hat.
But that's it.
So, for sake of your meeting that you've got to get to, that I want to attend, for as long as I can.
Can I just make a note? We immediately derailed.
I know, but that's part of why I love this so much.
We had so many good plans coming into this.
I know,
derailed.
but that's part of why this is so much fun. But for sake of time, so today's question is: you have to give your elevator pitch for if somebody were to ask you, "Oh, you're a Mason. What's that?" You cannot recite anything you knew. So like it's a system of morality veiled in allegory. None of that. You can't reference a famous person. It has to be only your own original thought. If that makes sense.
Can I just do what I already do?
If you already have, but it can't be something that you've heard before from somebody else.
No, this
It has
is
to be your own thing.
someone asked me.
Does that make sense?
Even if we're in an elevator or anything, I just put my finger up to their lips, just go shh, and that's it. And
I
then
thought you had a serious
exactly.
Screw you. No, but for real though. I listened to a podcast where they posed that question, what would you say? And you couldn't recite the whole, the same thing. You can't say making good men better.
No,
you can't reference, George Washington.
No, honestly, what I usually just say is, I just say, Honestly, it's a bunch of guys that come from a lot of different backgrounds, but we all just hang out because we have some shared commonalities between us, and that's really just all it is. Just a bunch of guys just hanging out, making podcasts, making game night, making whatever. But yeah, just a bunch of dudes just being dudes.
Interesting.
That have a common bond through a shared experience.
Mm-hmm.
Would be the only thing that I would add to that. And then if I was really crotchety old guy, I would say it's a bunch of old crotchety old guys that get together and have dinner once a month and argue over bills for the rest of the hour.
Okay, so let's say you weren't cynical. You're trying to make it sound like something good because you are Mason, so you don't want to it sucks, bro.
No, that's literally what I tell people. Like,
well, I know.
When
but then he brought up all we do is infight.
But
I would not say that in person. I say that between us. But
so if you were inside the,
it would be very. I would say it's a fraternal organization where we get together and we have a shared common experience, and we enjoy each other's company. We learn things from each other. We're all a group of guys that come from various backgrounds, yet we all have this common experience that binds us together, and we do things like charity and education and goof around and have fun and eat dinner, and very fraternity or frat-like, but on a higher spiritual plane, if you will.
See, and I think answers like that are way better than we make good men better, or it's a system of morality veiled in out, because they don't know what all those words mean. And so I think
words are hard.
I think it just makes us sound weird when we give the rote answer.
The only other thing I usually add, and because I usually make a joke out of everything, and so the only thing I usually do add is I usually say the first time I came, I think it all depends on how much time I have, I guess, but I usually say the first time I went to Lodge, I expected a bunch of really highfalutin,
prestigious,
guys, super ambitious and just controlling the world or something, and I found just a bunch of nerds just like me. And usually if it's somebody I know, they know I'm a huge friggin' nerd, and so they recognize that. And, it's a little funny, kind of 10% of a 10% of a joke, medium funny joke, I guess. I don't know, but it's just enough to be
medium funny.
Yeah, because that is what it is though. Yeah. We're just people. That's really all it is. We just happen to choose to hang out with each other. That's what it is under a certain number of, our own ritual, but every group of friends has their own ritual. We have a ritual for this podcast, you're crying out loud.
We do. We start it the same way every
time. And you
time.
broke that ritual today.
We start it the same way, we veer off course, and it usually stays there.
But no,
we had some kind of an agenda.
Totally, but we do. And again, that's why it was so stark that it's such a stark contrast that you did something different for the ritual, and I was like, what the heck? That's not what we do.
Yeah.
But every group of people, when they meet for any more than a few minutes, start to develop those rituals between them. The only difference between our ritual and a ritual of just your buds is it was made before we became friends. That's literally the difference. But there's ritual all around us, and we choose this ritual. But again, really all it is a bunch of guys hanging out, doing their best.
Very good, very good. Yeah.
Very smooth.
When I heard the question, it made me think, because I would always say, we make good men better, and then I'd add stuff about the ritual and the varied backgrounds. But in that podcast, it made me realize, when I repeat the rote thing, I think that comes across as insincere. They can tell you're just kind of saying something. It's not actually what you think of it. And so, yeah. And the next one is, how many Masons out there just say that rote thing and don't actually give that heartfelt thing that doesn't make us sound strange.
Well, it comes down to kind of what Gary was talking about earlier today about this article, essentially an article that we read from over 100 years ago, talking about Masonry and how people don't read, right? And you have to read and you have to develop that opinion for yourself. And I think that it's very, very similar, right? If you're not reading, if you're not developing your own views of Masonry, then when someone asks you what is Masonry, you give the rote answer because what else do you have?
Right.
And then it just makes it look bad. You don't actually know what it is or what's important about it, and then they come away thinking, oh, well, I guess it's not cool.
So what it really comes down to me is you have to be able to develop your own opinion. You have to think for yourself. And ultimately, that is what Freemasonry is about. It's about that freedom of being your own individual person that thinks for yourself at its core. And so if you're not doing that and all you're giving is the rote answer of then, like, of course you're going to look dumb. Of course you're going to look like it doesn't mean anything, because it doesn't until you give it meaning, right? Now, again, you could say the rote answer of making good men better, but you could also then follow that up with a personal experience of how Freemasonry made you a better man. And now that rote phrase of making good men better has meaning. Yeah, right?
Exactly right.
So, but again, even that, it comes down to, like, you can't just be passive. Like, if you're just passively experiencing Freemasonry, you're not experiencing Freemasonry.
Right. Well, and Freemasonry is an applied experience.
Absolutely.
That you actually have to go and do to learn. There's a reason that we practice the ritual that we do on a regular basis, and for me, why I love doing that, because every time we go through that, I learn something new. I get enlightened in some different way, and I want to be the Mason that's always learning something new. I mean, yeah, at the end of the Master Mason degree, we're told that this is the culmination, the peak. You now know it all, or you're about to know it all. But it really is just the beginning. And if you're going to be a good Mason, you don't stop once you get the credentials.
Yeah.
You build, you experiment, you practice, you add stuff, you design things differently, you keep building, you don't stop.
Let me know if this is something that should be cut out. But I believe it says at the end that you've received, which leaves room for light you can find yourself. So, like, to what you're saying, it could, to me, it implies that there's more. That, like, we can't give you any more. You have to go and do. And some do and some don't.
Needs to be cut. Just because it is specifically ritual.
I didn't
but I agree with you.
I didn't quote it exactly, so I'll cut out that part and I'll put in the part where I say it leaves room for the light you have to find yourself.
Yeah, I love that.
It does say that we've given you all that we can. The rest is up to you.
And I think that's a good place to end this afternoon quickie, is that we have shut up. Stop it. See, if you laugh, then I have to laugh. But I think that's a good place to stop, because we all have our own light, and it's once you have, like, that basic like, even overview, for in a lot of ways that's what going through the degrees is just getting the overview, and then the details you have to learn on your own. Once you have that overview, though, like, then you are free to explore, and I think that's the goal of Masonry, is to make men that can explore the light, that can learn and develop their own way of thinking.
I agree. Let's cut it off there.
The host of the From the North podcast are providing this broadcast as a public service and for their own selfish motives. It is neither a legal interpretation nor a statement of any Grand Lodge, local lodge, or any Masonic body or Freemasonry in general. Any reference to any specific product, subject, or entity does not constitute an endorsement or any recommendation. The rantings, tomfoolery, and views expressed by the guests and the host are absolutely their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply any endorsement of them, any Grand or local lodge, or any entity they represent.